week we saw how Sundarbans as an ecosystem is facing numerous challenges due to climate change.
Sundarban is facing 2 or 3 onslaughts due to climate change. Number 1, frequent cyclones they are coming. Their intensity may not be very big, but their frequency has increased. Number 2, sea level rise is also reducing the availability of land in the forest as well as in the villages. And number 3, sea surface temperature is also increasing. It means more salt is getting dissolved, salinity is increasing.
This week, let us understand how the people who rely on the ecosystem of the delta are being impacted in their daily life.
জীবনযাপন বলতে এখানে যা ঝড় বৃষ্টি আমাদের এখানে তো নদী এলাকা তা যেভাবে নোনা জল নদীর বাঁধ ভেঙে ঘরবাড়ি নষ্ট হয়ে যায় ওই ভেঙে গেলে আবার নতুন করে যেরকম পারি সেরকম করে বানাতে হয় প্রত্যেকের ক্ষতি হয়
Due to the changing climate, this World Heritage Site is witnessing sea level rise, storm surge intensification, and water salinization, where the ripple effect of these changes is seen on the nature-dependent livelihoods and health of the communities.
It's a very powerful landscape, it really haunts one, It's not like any other forest. It's not like, say, the forests of Uttarakhand or anything. It's completely different. The Sundarbans actually was what they opened my eyes to the climate crisis, honestly, because way back in 2000, when I was there researching my novel The Hungry Tide, you could already then see the effects on the Sundarban of climate change, but also many things that you probably will not have noticed, which is the many species of animals, etc., are fading away. The most important creature in the Sundarbans is actually the crab. The crab is what keeps, it's the keystone species in a sense. It keeps the whole mangrove forest breathing. And there's been a huge diminution in the number of crabs. Way back, I can remember from years and years ago, you would see, crabs, whole sandbanks mud banks would turn red with crabs. You don't see that anymore. Actually, the bird life has become so diminished in the Sundarban. It's really shocking. But apart from that, also, if you talk to the fishermen there, they'll tell you that it's becoming harder and harder. And let's not forget, the Sundarban lets out onto the Bay of Bengal. The Bay of Bengal is now covered with all these dead zones, where nothing can actually live. The Bay of Bengal supports tens of millions of people. And it's turning into a dead zone is going to be a catastrophe on a scale that we can't even speak of. And it's happening because of agricultural fertilizers.
With every natural calamity, not just the local people, but the forest and its wildlife also bear a huge cost. Forest Survey of India has pegged a loss of more than 2% mangrove cover in the delta between 2017 to 2019. Cyclone Amphan, the most disastrous cyclone in the history of Bengal in May 2020, has taken the Sundarbans back 10 years. Additionally, lying in the low coastal zone makes the Sundarbans more vulnerable to floods, earthquakes, cyclones, sea level rise, and coastline erosion. The people of Sundarbans are already living on the fringes. Natural calamities like cyclones, which have become more frequent now, add to the misery of people. In fact, the local villagers in the delta are facing socio-economic inequalities due to lack of livelihood opportunities, regular man-tiger face-off, and frequent natural disasters. Fishery is treated as the backbone of Sundarban economy. The Sundarbans archipelago acts as a nursery of sorts for nearly 90% of the aquatic species of the eastern coast of India, and to that end, it fulfills a very important role. Sudarshan Sordar lives with his family in Sonargaon village, a village that is at the mouth of the delta. A tiger attack survivor, he's struggling to make ends meet. Human activity, along with the various impacts of climate change, is putting pressure on fish density and diversity.
এখন আমাদের নদীতে এখন যেহেতু আমাদের 10 মাস ফরেস্ট ডিপার্টমেন্ট থেকে পারমিশন থাকে, আমরা সেই অনুযায়ী জঙ্গলে মাছ কাঁটা ধরতে যাই 9 মাস, এবং 3 মাস আমাদের জঙ্গল ডিউটি বন্ধ থাকে। 3 মাস হচ্ছে যে মাছের প্রজন্ম সরকারি অনুমতিতে তারা মানে বৃদ্ধি বাড়ায়। তারপরে আমাদের যখন স্টার্টিং হয় এপ্রিল মাস থেকে, তখন থেকে আমরা আবার মাছ স্টার্টিং ধরা মানে শুরু করি আর কি। আগের চেয়ে মাছের পরিমাণ যেহেতু হচ্ছে কমেছে, কারণ হচ্ছে বহুত নৌকো জাল ফাল বেড়ে গেছে, ট্রলার পার্টি অনেক মৎস্যজীবীরা অনেক নৌকো করেছে, আগের চেয়ে মানে মাছের পরিমাণ অনেক কমেছে।
The fishermen in Sundarbans are afflicted by three things: the high salinity of water due to water pollution, global warming, which is hindering fish breeding in the area, and frequent tiger attacks. Fishing, crab collection, and honey collection are some of the primary occupations in Sundarbans, which expose the local villagers to conflicts with tigers, crocodiles, and sharks. Reduction in catch has pushed people to venture into the restricted areas of Sundarbans where the threat is higher, this leading to higher number of tiger-human conflicts, and the number of tiger widows is increasing in the delta. Geeta is a Bagh Bidoba, a tiger widow. She lost her husband to a tiger attack when he had gone fishing. Life hasn't been easy for her since then. She struggles even for clean water.
আমাদের ওই বন্যা হওয়ার পরে পুকুরে খালে সব নোনা জল, অনেক দূর থেকে জল আনতে হয়, টাইম কলের জল আনতে হয়, টিউবওয়েলের থেকে জল আনতে হয়। জলের প্রচুর কষ্ট আমাদের ধারে। আমার স্বামী বাগদা ধরতে গেছিল ওই যে বোটে করে, আর লোক ছিল, আমার মেয়ে ছিল, আর ওই জঙ্গল থেকে বাঘ বেরিয়ে এসে আর ধরে নিয়ে চলে গেছে। আর এসে বলতে তারপরে আমরা জানতে পারলাম। আজকে আমার স্বামী যখন নিয়ে চলে গেল আমাদের তখন প্রচুর কষ্ট।
তখন আমার ছোট ছোট বাচ্চা ছিল, আমরা বাগদা ধরতাম, তখন খুব কষ্ট করে মানুষ করে আমরা বাচ্চা কাচ্চা মানুষ করেছি।
Residents don't have an easy job surviving. While many move to cities to earn a living, for those who stay behind like Biswajit, a farmer, life is tough. His crops aren't surviving. Lack of fresh water has also resulted in rain-fed agriculture, with all its uncertainties.
ধানের ক্ষেত নষ্ট হলো, প্রথমে তো ওই ইয়াস ঝড়ে নোনা জল ঢুকে গেল, তারপরে জল টল ছিঁচে শুকনো করা হয়েছিল লবণ জলটা, কিন্তু বর্ষার জল ধরে রেখেছিলাম পুকুরে, দিয়ে দেখলাম যে বীজতলা হয়েছে যখন চাষ হবে, কিন্তু পরপর যত রোদ্দুর হলো লবণ জলটা তত বাড়তে শুরু করলো, এত লবণ হয়ে যাচ্ছে জলে, তারপরে ঠিক ধানটা বেরোনোর সময় ধানটা পুরো ড্যামেজ হয়ে গেল, এই জল দিয়ে পুরোটাই পুড়ে গেল।
Increasing vulnerability from climate change and lack of livelihood opportunities has led to migration. More than half of the male population has migrated to urban areas for work. Sundarbans is primarily home to women, children, and elderly people. 48-year-old Ganga Ghosh from Amlamethi village in Gusaba block was born and raised in Sundarbans. Her son has moved to Kolkata to make a living, while she continues to live in Sundarbans with her husband, who is a cancer patient, her daughter-in-law, and grandchildren.
একা বলতে ছেলে আমার ওই তো হাওড়াতে থাকে, এখানে রেখেও তো ছেলে বেকার থাকবে না, তা সে বিয়ে করেছে, তার দুটো বাচ্চা আছে, তাহলে খাটাখাটনি না করলে এখনকার একটা বাচ্চাকে মানুষ করতে কত খরচা, তাহলে তার স্কুল আছে, তার খাওয়া পড়া, তাকে মানুষ করা, তাহলে ও তার দুটো বাচ্চা আছে, তাহলে ঘরে বসে থাকলে এখানে চাষবাস কী করে, আগে যেভাবে চাষবাস করে মানুষ তবু একটু নিরাপদে থাকতো, এখন বছরে যদি 2-3 বার করে সাইকেল হয়, তাহলে এখন কি করে মানে মানুষ জীবনযাপন করবে, বাধ্যগতি বাইরেই খাটাখাটনি করতে হয়।
The residents of the Sundarbans, who have to deal with so many challenges just for their day-to-day survival, had to face a whole new challenge in 2020 when the pandemic hit. COVID made life even more difficult for them. Sundarbans is home to a large human population which is riddled with poverty. Due to inadequate infrastructure, healthcare, education and transport, livelihood options, communities struggle for even their basic requirements. Health has been impacted as well.
The peoples of Sundarbans are suffering from various ailments. They are classified as waterborne diseases, that is gastroenteritis, amoebiasis, worm infestation, typhoid, hepatitis and such and such. At the same time, they are suffering from airborne diseases, that is chronic cough and cold, chronic bronchitis, bronchial asthma, asthmatic bronchitis, etc. At the same time, they are also suffering from undiagnosed hypertension due to intake of saline water for drinking purpose. The tube well water is saline in nature and very much contaminated with arsenic. So arsenic poisoning is also prevalent in that area.
Women wading through waist deep and some even neck deep in brackish water is a common sight. They are involved in fishing and crab and prawn collection. Savita Gayan suffers from skin allergies, common in the mangroves, which is caused by saline water. She requires frequent visits to the clinic, but instead of going to a hospital that is quite some distance away, she visits a boat clinic in the Bay of Bengal.
ওই গা পা চুলকোয়, তারপরে হাত পা ফুলো, যন্ত্রণা হয় খুব, আর এই মশা টশা কামড়ালি মা দেখো এইরকম কালো হয়ে যায়, এই গাটা এরকম কালো হয়ে যায়, বিশাল চুলকোয় আর ঘা এর সাইতের না মোটে। আগে নদীতে বাগদা ধরতে যেতাম, তখন এসব ছিল না, আর এই 5-6 বছর তো যাইনি, এখন যেন এইসব ঘা পাঁচড়া খুব। কলের জলে চান করি, পুকুরের জলেও গায়ে লাগাইনি। ও ডাক্তারখানায় এসে সুবিধাতে ওই ধারে কাছে ডাক্তার আইলে একটু সুবিধা হয় আমাদের, ওষুধপত্র নীতি দূরে তো যেতে পারিনি, হাত পা ব্যথা যন্ত্রণা।
A floating dispensary is bringing relief to the villagers since 1997, who would otherwise have to travel for over an hour to the closest government hospitals. Operated by Sheesh, the Southern Health Improvement Samiti, the boat mobile medical clinics navigate 2,000 square kilometers every week, reaching millions of underprivileged inhabitants.
Health situations of the Sundarbans is not good because the duty of the government is to render service to the people of the Sundarbans, but the services are inadequate. So under that circumstance, the other sources like NGOs, they are playing a vital role to meet up the demand of the people. But it is even not adequate. We need huge help to be with the people, to treat the patients. Referral cases of the doctors are in a very big problem because they have to bring to the mainland, then to the governmental hospital which is situated in the Kolkata. So considering all this, what we can say, health system should be improved. It is not good enough to meet up the treatment of the people. Our organization have arranged clinics by boats. We have 4 motor boat. It is reaching to the 30 islands, once in one island in a day. So each day they are providing their services. Even it is not adequate. Per day we are diagnosing doing a small treatment or the tests, or we are giving them medicines. Government has observed, and we brought notice the government, and they have agreed to work with us on bid basis. So we are rendering services some islands using our boat. 30 islands we are covering, but there are rest islands. We need other helps to continue.
This is all part of our Detol Banega Swasth India campaign, where one of the prime goals of the campaign is leaving no one behind. And we have committed to reach at least 50% of the waterways, which is around 15,000 kilometers across India, so that health is a right, health is not a privilege, and access to basic health care is a right of everyone. Through this boat clinics, we actually give health care at the last mile. The boat clinics you have seen in Sundarbans recently during your visit may have actually taken you to the Hingalganj, Pather Pratima, 24 North Parganas, South Parganas, and there is a big population group which lives there inside the water in the small islands, and we want the hygiene messages and the hygiene behaviors reach all nook and corner of the country, leaving no one behind. It's very important for the corporates actually to have a better India, India which is Ayushman India, and supporting Government of India's initiative of Ayushman Bharat, because wellness and health, they needs to be the prime goals for a country's success and the mission to achieve all the success in the future.
In the remote pockets of Sundarbans, where primary healthcare facilities are in short supply, accredited social health activists, that is ASHA workers, Anganwadi workers and A&M certified nurses have an invaluable contribution to healthcare. India's all-women ASHA volunteers have been recently honoured by the World Health Organization for their crucial role in providing healthcare in rural areas. For ASHA workers in Sundarbans, the mammoth task is inaccessibility and very often wading through waist-deep waters to reach the local people.
যে বাড়িতে গর্ভবতী মা নবজাতক শিশু থাকে সেই বাড়িতে আমাদের প্রত্যেক সপ্তাহে একবার করেও যেতে হয়। এই গর্ভবতী মা যখন হসপিটাল ডেলিভারির সময় হয়, হসপিটালে নিয়ে যাওয়া আমাদের খুব কষ্ট। এই প্রত্যন্ত এলাকায় আমাদের বাস, এখানে নেই কোনো যানবাহন ব্যবস্থা। দুটো অঞ্চল মিলেই একটি মাত্র অ্যাম্বুলেন্স আছে। সেই অ্যাম্বুলেন্স আমাদের জিপিতেও নেই, সাতজেলিয়া জিপির অ্যাম্বুলেন্স। খুব কষ্ট করে ফোন করে আমরা অ্যাম্বুলেন্সটা আনাই। যত রাত হোক দিন হোক আমাদের কাজে যোগদান করার পর থেকে আমরা কোনোদিন হোম ডেলিভারি হতে দেইনি। যেভাবেই হোক আমরা মাকে হসপিটালে নিয়ে যাই। এই যে কোভিড-19 প্রকোপে এই 3 বছর আমরা প্রচণ্ড ভাবে ভুগছি। প্রত্যেকটা মানুষের ভ্যাকসিন কমপ্লিট করার জন্য প্রতিটা বাড়ি আমরা বারবার হেঁটে প্রত্যেকটা মানুষের ভ্যাকসিন আমাদের এলাকায় কমপ্লিট করেছি।
For the 4.5 million people who live in the Sundarbans, their lives are intricately intertwined with the forests around them. The sturdy nature of the dependency between the livelihoods of the communities and the forests and the sea portrays a strong link between the natural and built environment.
As the world heads towards an uncertain future with both biodiversity loss and climate change challenges bearing upon us, the mangroves play a key role in protecting the ecosystem. In Sundarbans, the mangroves have protected close to 5 million people and also in the mega city of Kolkata against the storms for years now. It is time that we need to protect this ecosystem. The ecosystem needs us to survive and sustain and in turn protect our generations to come.